Entertainment Centre, 24 Alfreda Street, St Albans, phone 9366 2396. PCTV is brought to you by Home Entertainment Centre, 24 Alfreda Street, St Albans, phone 9366 2396.
Before we get underway for tonight's episode, PCTV would like to congratulate the boys from Arden Street for their brilliant win against Sydney on the last weekend. On your roos!
Hello and welcome to this week's episode of PCTV. I'm Melissa and this is Maria.
Hi. In today's show, Daniela steps into the future of drag racing with Wipeout and hits the canvas with huge muscle-bound men in WrestleMania, the arcade game.
Maria will be talking with our internet consultant Robert Gabriel from Majestic Internet Services. This week we examine the functions of email.
Sue-Lin takes a look at Thelma and Louise in this week's BCD.
I'll be taking a look at the latest hardware with Robert Sabo from Home Entertainment Centre.
Pietro examines scanners in this week's PC News.
And Michelle goes on a journey through our planet's most dangerous creatures in this week's multimedia review.
And this week we take a stroll down memory lane and show PCTV's very first Vox Pop from Computer Whiz High Point.
So sit back, relax and enjoy this week's episode of PCTV.
Last week we showed you one of the all-time greatest car racing games, Destruction Derby, by Psygnosis. This week we bring you yet another fantastic game designed by Psygnosis, Wipeout. Wipeout is a futuristic anti-gravity racing game where you're in control of hovering racer. The game is tough without the aid of wheels or friction. You'll find your brakes are a little unreliable, especially when you have to make a sharp turn into a tunnel. Graphically, the game is perfect. The game is fully rendered using polygon graphics. The realism is amazing. With buildings, bridges, ramps and air jumps, you won't believe how much they have managed to jam into this one CD. As well as the cool textured graphics, the CD soundtrack accompanies the game beautifully. The music is full on techno. The sound effects are as realistic as it gets, and it won't take you very long before you realise that this game really rocks. The only problem is that the game is incredibly hard and unforgiving to novice racers. We at PCTV have been playing it for about 6 months and still haven't been able to pass the last track, which takes place on a track covered in ice. However, if you like a good challenge, the graphics and sound should persuade you to buy this. The game is available on the PlayStation, PC and Saturn. However, don't bother buying the PC version if you're running a 486. This game needs all the power it can get. PCTV give the game a 9 out of 10.
What is email and how can one get access to it? Well, Robert Gabriel from Majestic Internet Services is here to tell us more about it. How are you, Robert?
Good, thanks.
That's good. So tell us more about the email.
Okay, well, email or electronic mail
Yes.
is a way of sending data across the global network,
Radio.
otherwise known as the internet.
Mm-hmm.
Most people use email probably more than use anything else on the internet.
Yeah.
When it comes to the internet, I guess, most people automatically think of email.
Yeah.
Because it's a way of communicating with people around the world on a global network, and it's something which they do every day and most part of the day. So this is why I guess the internet has grown so much in the last year or so, I guess, yeah.
Yeah. And so how does it work?
Okay, the way it works is basically, well, first you must understand what email is in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone needs to have an email address before they can send mail.
Right, and how does one get an email address?
Okay, most of the time you're actually given one from your service provider.
Yeah.
There's 3 parts to an email. There's the first part, which is basically your name or your alias or your company name.
Yeah.
Then there's an @ character, which means who you're belonging to. So at Majestic or at whoever
Yeah.
is the domain which you belong with.
Which is your server.
That's right.
Yep.
And then after that, there's another part which basically determines what type of server that is. Now there's net, there's .com, which is .com, .gov for government, EDU for universities,
Yeah.
MIL for military, and ORG for organisations.
Rightio.
And then there's a third part, which is a country code, which is basically which country you belong to. Now the only country which does not have a country code is America.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and the reason for this is that because they basically invented the internet,
Yeah.
they didn't think it was
they
going
own
to.
'em.
That's right. Well, they didn't think it was going to go to a global status as it
Yeah.
has, so they never thought of a country code for themselves. This is why they haven't gotten it at the moment.
So how would you know how we
Well,
contact them?
Well, basically, someone's email address which does not have a country code,
You know
you'd know
that's
that's from
it.
the States.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Okay.
so that's quite simple. Yeah.
So how much would this cost around to get it set up?
Well, normally there is no real cost involved with it. It's basically a service provider from your service provider.
Mhm.
So when you do get connected, you're given that as part of the service that you get with them. So I guess it's all built into that.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
So just show us how it's set up.
Okay, well, most people will need an email program, an email client, so
Yeah.
to speak. At the moment, we're using Netscape's email client, which is probably one of the most popular ones at the moment. Some of the other ones is Eudora,
Yeah.
Pegasus Mail, and some other ones that are available as well.
Right.
But basically, the main part is mail too. So obviously, who you're going to send the mail to, who you're going to send this to. So the first part, for example, here is PCTV,
Yeah.
at, which domain, Majestic.
Yeah.
What are we? We're a service provider, .net, which country, Australia.
Yep.
Now you may think, okay, well, how's this done? You basically type in your letter here, down the bottom here, right? You just type in what you want to type in, right? And you click on send, and then that person or organisation will receive your mail. Now the main thing about this is that if someone was to do this on a global level, think of, for example, the post. They
Yeah.
have to sort your post out,
Right.
and then basically make sure it comes to you. Now this is done basically electronically, so there's
Yeah.
no sorting in the sense. So what happens is when somebody sends mail to you,
Yeah.
it doesn't actually physically come to you. It comes to your service provider.
Yeah.
So that means your computer does not have to be on.
Yeah.
All it basically means is that when you're ready to check your mail, it's there for you, if there is any mail at all.
So it's automatically like sorted into your.
That's right. Think of it like the PO box and the post. When the mail gets there, you don't have to be there.
Yeah.
But basically once it is there, you can just go there, open it up, and it's yours.
All right.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
So the beauty about this, for example, you can send mail today for someone in the States or in Europe
Yeah.
who could be sleeping. But next time they go there and they basically open up their machine and
Yeah.
check their mail, they'll have it.
That's much easier. You can get your message
Yeah.
as soon as you want.
Yeah,
isn't it?
and it is quite quick. Most
Yeah.
people think, well, how long does it take to send an email from point A to point B?
Yeah.
It normally happens in a matter of minutes,
Mhm.
or even seconds in some instances.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it is very quick.
It's very fast.
Yeah.
And yeah, what are the different programs that is on the email?
Okay, well, as I said before, there's Netscape, which is the most popular one.
Yeah.
You can use. There's Eudora,
Mhm.
which is probably the first one which is around, I guess. And there are depending on the operating system that you're using, there's normally one associated with each of those operating systems, but Netscape and Eudora are probably the most popular one at the moment, yeah.
Right. And is one better than the other, or?
I would think that in today's age that Netscape it would probably be one of the best ones around. Reason being is when you actually send a document or you're receiving a document, you can actually see what you're sending in real terms. For example, if you were to type up a letter and send a picture of something,
Yeah.
you could actually see that picture as the document was received. Whereas a client like, for example, Eudora, you'd actually load like a graphics package to view that image, so it actually hasn't got the facility to see third-party file formats.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. So can you actually send like photos and stuff like
Yes, you can send photos, sounds, video,
Yeah.
programs, whole programs you can send down the line, data, anything you can actually store on your computer
Yeah.
is able to be sent down the computer through the email wire. Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. Thank you for joining us, Robert,
No
for
problem.
this segment. And if you'd like any information, you can contact Robert Gabriel at Majestic Internet Services on 1800 670 140.
As we all know, video CDs are great for viewing action-packed sci-fi adventures with spectacular explosions and nail-biting endings. But this week we've decided to investigate the other end of the spectrum by reviewing Thelma and Louise on video CD. Thelma and Louise is a dramatic film about the chronicles of two women, played by Gina Davis and Susan Sarandon. The film is about two women who decide to leave the men behind and embark on a road trip. After Louise murders a would-be rapist, the two women find themselves fleeing from the police, and the fun-filled road trip now becomes an attempt to escape across the border. However, after many close shaves and a few mistakes made by the mishap-prone Thelma, the women realise that their daring escape just won't come true and decide upon a suicide pact. This movie is a fabulous attempt by Hollywood at making the women's road film. The digitised images look great, accompanied by 3D Dolby surround sound. However, you will need MovieWave to uncode it. Overall, the VCD version can offer you sharper images and better sound. If you really like the movie and are wanting to get your video CD library flowing, then grab a copy. Well, that's all for me this week, but I'll be back next week with another edition of VCD.
Hi, with me today is Robert Sabo from the Home Entertainment Centre. Hi Robert, how are you?
Very good, thanks.
Perhaps you'd like to tell us the products you have brought in for us today.
Yes, the Compro digital camera, as well as the K2 Technology pocket hard drive.
Okay, would you like to show us one of the first products, perhaps the Compro?
Yes, the Compro digital camera basically plugs into your parallel port, allowing you to take digital photos of anything, or motion pictures also.
Okay.
Plugs into the parallel port, or printer port, and hooks up the power to your keyboard, and also has a piggyback for your printer, so you don't have to leave your printer unplugged.
So what does all that mean, the digitising photos? I'm not quite sure, so I'd really like to explain it to me.
Basically, all it is a photo on your screen of whatever, say a photo of the family, or you just stand in front of the camera, press the button and it will have a still picture on your screen, which you can save it and put it on or get it developed. Also motion as well. You can, while you're looking at it, it'll film you just like a normal sort of video camera also, which can be saved too.
Okay, so how can the photos be processed?
Any Kodak photo shop.
Yep.
Just take in your images on a disc. They'll put it onto CD for you and develop it for you.
So how can this be used, like for fun? I suppose you've got photos at home. How can it be used in the privacy of one's own home?
Basically, of anything. I mean, you can take an image of yourself and play around with it if you like.
So you can have fun with yourself. Yeah.
You can draw on yourself.
Put different colours in, I suppose. Yeah.
Yeah, colour in some teeth or something, and.
Yeah. I believe you also have the pocket hard disk in for us today too.
Yes, that's right. That's the pocket hard drive there.
Yep.
That's by K2 Technology.
Right.
It's just like a normal hard drive, though not quite as fast. Plugs into your parallel port also.
Right.
Which also has a piggyback for your printer, so you don't have to leave it disconnected.
Yep.
It gets power from the keyboard socket or external power supply.
Okay.
And basically allows you to store data.
So what are the main advantages of having a pocket hard disk?
The security mainly. You can plug this into any computer without changing the configuration of the host.
Yeah.
It takes 2 minutes to connect up. You can basically store all your data, important data, and just put it in your pocket. You don't need no passwords or anything.
So how does it help save time at all?
Because it only takes 2 minutes to hook up, say if you're a travelling salesman or something, you'd have all your data on the pocket hard drive rather than carrying a laptop. You can plug it into anyone's computer basically and within 2 minutes.
Thanks for joining us today, Robert. If people would like more information on either the camera or the pocket hard disk, how can they contact you?
They can contact us at either the Melton or St Albans store on 9366 2396 St Albans and 9743 8357 for the Melton store.
Thanks very much today, Robert.
No problem.
Hello and welcome to PC News. I'm Pietro. We've come a long way this week. I've been doing some research in the area of scanners. The first scanner I'd like to show you is the Mustec Page Scanner. Now the beauty about the Mustec Page Scanner is that it's a full A4 sheet feeding scanner. So that means if you've got any document, whether it's word processed or handwritten, you can just feed it through the A4 slot here. It goes through, and basically whatever's on the page comes up on your screen. So it's a really good. It's black and white. It's only grayscale, but it's reasonably priced. It's only around around the $350 mark. So that's a pretty good price for a scanner anyway, especially full page. The next item I'd like to show you is also a Mustech. This is the Mustech hand scanner. Now, the Mustech hand scanner is also a brilliant little colour scanner. It's priced under $200. It features 16 million colours in resolutions up to 800 dpi. So, you know, it's perfect for doing all your sorts of magazine clippings and all that sort of stuff. It's probably not ideal though for A4 scanning like the Mustech page scanner, because basically it's not of A4 width. So you'll be running the scanner over the page 2 or 3 times just to try and align it right. So it's very hard to do, and it's not really worth the bother. So it's good for magazine clippings, but not for A4 stuff. Now the final scanner I'd like to show you is called the Primax Easy Photo Reader. Now the brilliant thing about this photo reader is basically that's what it is. It's a photo reader. You input your colour photos in, it can read them in up to 1200 dpi. So you know, again, we're going higher resolution than the other colour scanner we've had, and your colours can be then manipulated with the software that comes with the package. So you can get rid of all those scratches that are on some of the older photos, which I've been doing this week, and it really does come out, especially when you print them out again. It works really, really well. The problem with this, it's not really ideal for work such as word processing and scanning in things like newspaper clippings and stuff. So basically what you want to use it depends what you want to use it for. I'd recommend this for anybody who just wants to use it for inputting photos to their machine. Okay, well, to my software this week. Now, I've been playing around with Siberia 2. Siberia 2 is obviously the sequel to Siberia 1. This game offers really good graphics. It reminded me a lot of Virtual Cop, actually, in the way that it's totally mouse-driven and it's shooting the targets that come up on screen. A little bit frustrating to play. It's, you know, like you don't get many continues, and it's really easy to get bombed out. But if you like a good challenge, you'll really like this game. Okay, now, Quake has just come out this week. Now, Quake has been probably one of the most anxiously awaited 3D games from ID since the Doom series came out. It takes full advantage of a Pentium processor. It really puts the floating point unit to work, that's for sure. Great 3D textures and great graphics, unbelievable sound. I can't really say much bad about this game, that's for sure. Now, Mortal Kombat 3. Now, Mortal Kombat 3 is actually a bit of an oldie. But the thing that intrigues me about this game is the slower your computer is, the better it runs. Now that may sound ironic, but I've played it on a 486 DX80 and it ran at arcade speed. But once you throw it into a 586 or a Pentium, it runs way too fast. So if you've got a slow machine and you're finding it hard to keep up with software, Mortal Kombat 3 will do you justice. Now, Batman Forever. Batman Forever was a great film, as we all know. It's now been released by Acclaim on the video game market. This game offers brilliant digitised graphics from the movie. You can play 2 players as Batman and Robin, and it's full of puzzles, full of levels. You know, there's over 200 moves. It's a really good game. And finally, Witch Haven 2. Now, I've got a bone to pick with this game, basically because it promises to be a really good game when in actual fact it's quite boring. I found it very hard to use. The controls were dodgy, the graphics weren't that brilliant, and with all the Doom clones out on the market, I really wouldn't recommend someone going out and grabbing this game, that's for sure. Well, that's it for PC News this week. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll be back next week. We'll be talking about video editing with your PC. Till then, see ya.
WrestleMania was one of the most popular sports in the early to mid-80s. Now in the late 90s, World Wrestling is about to take off again with the release of WrestleMania, the arcade game. WrestleMania is programmed by Midway, the same company responsible for NBA Jam and the Mortal Kombat trilogy. Like their other titles, WrestleMania uses digitised full-motion video instead of bitmap graphics, and the result is an ultra-realistic wrestling ring with real wrestlers. You can choose any of today's host wrestlers, from Bret the Hitman Hart to Lex Luger. Each character has an amazing array of moves with literally dozens of throws, pile drivers, head stops and clotheslines. Let's take a look. Complementing the superb graphics is the commentary. Howard Finkel hosts each wrestling match with fantastic comments on every move you make. The game has many features. You can go for the Intercontinental title or the World Wrestling Federation title. The game also features tag team, Royal Rumble and head-to-head modes. To win the title, you have to be tough, as you have to fight an all-out war as 8 wrestlers take you on at the same time. Overall, WrestleMania, the arcade game, is fantastic. We gave it a perfect score here at PCTV and would recommend anyone to grab a copy. It's available on every computer system from Super Nintendo to Sony PlayStation. The PC version will require 486 with 8 megs of RAM. That's it for this week. Remember, if you have a request or would like to write a review, contact PCTV at pctvmajestic.net.au or send in your review to PCTV, 24 Alfreda Street, St Albans, 3021.
Microsoft Dangerous Creatures is an exciting encyclopedia dedicated to the world's most dangerous creatures. The CD is a fantastic reference library for all ages, filled with interesting facts, videos, photos, sounds and pictures of literally hundreds of dangerous animals. The interface is easy for anyone to use. You can choose to analyse a particular country and see what dangerous creatures live there, or choose an animal's habitat. There is also an option to go to a guided tour. These tours include Australian Walkabout, African Safari, Native American Stories, Aboriginal Dreamtime, Amazon Adventures and many more. Another excellent feature is the A to Z Index, where you can look up any dangerous creature by name and have a world of information splashed on your screen for you to enjoy. The CD contains some amazing photographs and full motion video sequences. As you can see behind me, the graphics and the clarity are unbelievable. And because it runs under Microsoft Windows, you have the option to run the program in high colour or true colour modes. Best of all, this CD will run on any machine, even a 386 with 4 megs of RAM, and a single spin CD-ROM can handle it, and it is very, very reasonably priced. It's part of the Microsoft Bundle Pack, or you can purchase it separately. Either way, it won't cost you a fortune. Best of all, it's fun and easy to use. PCTV applauds Microsoft's effort and has given this program the thumbs up. We recommend it to anybody with a desire to learn more about our planet's most beautiful and dangerous creatures.
What sort of computer do you have?
A Pentium?
A Pentium, would you know the speed or?
90.
Or Pentium 100.
Macintosh and IBM.
IBM compatible.
What's your favourite game on it?
Has to be Command & Conquer. Duke Nukem 3D.
Civilization.
The mouse game when you do sums and all that.
Which one do you prefer more, the Macintosh or the IBM?
Macintosh.
Do you prefer computer games over video games, or?
Yeah, pretty much. If you can get like more games and stuff.
What do you think about graphics-wise? I mean, do you think the computer can cut the same sort of graphics as the new generation video games like PlayStation and Saturn?
Yeah, pretty much.
Are you an internet user at the moment, or?
No, only at work.
Oh, only at work. How do you find the internet when you are using it? Has it got like a lot of resources? Would you recommend people, like maybe our viewers, for example, to join up to the internet if they were having thoughts about it?
Well, it depends on what you want it for. But it's good for the work I do because it gives me access to all sorts of resources around in different countries. So, and puts me in touch with information I'd take ages to get otherwise.
No.
Would you like to be on the internet?
Might be in the future, but not at the moment.
Do you know many people that are inquiring about the internet? Is there a general interest in the community about the internet?
Very much so. We're probably finding maybe 1 in 3 customers that come in are very interested in the internet. How to get on, what am I going to find when I get there, etc.
And well, I've got Windows. I haven't got Windows 95, but we've got the words for Windows on it.
Oh, right, right. And how are you finding that? Do you find that easy to use?
Yeah, it's quite. It's easy to use. You know, like on the computer. You know, it's better than sort of because it's as they're getting more up to date. It's easier to use.
Microsoft Works, Lotus, and yeah, that's about it. ClarisWorks.
Do you use Windows 95 yourself?
Yes.
And how do you find it?
Oh, well, I turn my computer on and there it is. No, sorry, no. It's good. Certainly, having been a DOS person right from DOS 1 all the way through, and then learning Windows 3.1, then Windows 3.11, and then to see Windows 95. After all, it's only an operating system. And a lot of people think it can do more than what it really does, but considering all the different functions of hardware and everything else that it has to deal with, it's just as an engine of a computer, it's fine.
Yeah, so just your personal opinion, what would you say the minimum requirements for Windows 95? I realise on the box it says 386 with 4 megs of RAM. I've seen it run at that and it doesn't really impress me. What would you say the most, to get the most out of Windows 95, what sort of setup would you have?
As a minimum, a Pentium processor with 16 megabyte of RAM. But it will run obviously on a 486 33 with 8 megabyte of RAM, but it's slow and people want to have performance. They want to be able to start their machine up and get into it and get pleasure from it, get some speed from it. So really a Pentium with that 16 megabyte of RAM will give you some pretty good performance.
Well, that's it for this week's show. If you'd like any information about what you've seen on PCTV, you can contact us care of 24 Alfreda Street, St Albans.
Or you can contact us at our addresses.
See you later.
Ciao.
Are you bored with what's on television?